Hey.
Hey.
Hey everybody, I'm Cheryl Swift, Touches of Rock and Roll. I'm here today with Tim Allen. How are you, man?
I'm good.
You good? We're here at an undisclosed location this morning.
Right.
We're here to talk about Tim's new album, Lifetime on the Road. It's fabulous. It's so good the CD's not even in the case because it's in my car. It's your new EP out this week.
Yes, thank you.
Had an awesome party last night.
Yes, it was
How
a
was
good
that
time.
for you?
For me, it was good. For everybody else, they're probably all hurting this morning.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's a lot of hungover people in Mexico, Missouri.
I think that you and I were probably the only two sober people in there.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I wish I had a video of the crowd. Like, I have videos of you, but I should have turned the camera around last night.
It's all in my head. That's
Yes.
for sure.
It's a great time.
Yes.
Lots of local friends came out to celebrate your
Absolutely.
CD.
They've always supported me for the last, coming up on 4 years now. So.
Yeah, it was really great. I'm glad I could make it up. You know, it's like every weekend is all these choices, you know, in the music
Yes.
world.
Well, I appreciate you coming.
Thanks. And next weekend, Sinners and Saints.
Yeah.
Saints and Sinners?
Saints and sinners. Yes. I get it back.
I always put the sinners first. I don't know why. We're going to head up to, is it St. Charles, Iowa? Our friend Troy Kill, he puts together this party.
Yep, the Talk Shop Lounge, which is a cool venue. I love that place.
You know, I've never been. This is my first. I promised Troy this year I would come to the party. And that's going to be a really good night. Some of your friends are going to be playing there with you.
Yep.
So we're looking forward to that. Who else is going to be there? You?
My buddy TJ Hernandez, myself, then Jake Stringer and Better Than Nothing, Josh Card, and Justin Wells finishes out the night.
That makes me happy.
Yes.
Like all my favorite dudes in one. Well, most of my favorite dudes in one. I have a lot of favorite dudes.
Right.
But that's going to be a good night.
Yes.
We're all heading up. I guess that's north of here.
Yes. About 4 hours.
About 4 hours. So let's talk about your new EP that's out. It's really good.
Thank you.
I know the story, but not everybody knows the story.
A few years ago, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and I wanted to give him a Christmas present this last year in 2017, and I went to my friend Cole Porter and talked to him about helping me out with it, and he said absolutely. I told him why I wanted to do it, my reasoning, and before we could get in the studio and get it done, my dad unfortunately passed away. But yeah, that was the whole reason behind it. It wasn't anything that I was going to put out to the public or anything like that.
Right.
And
I know we had talked about it. We had talked about it at length about how you wanted to do it for your dad and what it meant.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm sorry that he's passed, but I have no doubt how proud he is of this. You know, it's really it's so good that I know how proud I am and how proud everybody else is, but it's still a gift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is this his truck?
Yep.
There's this, when you get the EP on the inside, there's this awesome photo of Tim in his dad's truck. Lots of good memories with him there, huh?
Yep.
Mr. Zaliznik. Now these other photos.
The photo on the front is by a guy by the name of Chris Couture, which a lot of people in music know who he is because he does a lot of band photos, but his photography is awesome. I love his photography, and I had reached out to him and asked him if he had a photo of a road going in, you know, across the desert into the mountains or something to that.
And he comes up with like the perfect photo.
Picture, yes.
And then this has a good story behind it too, right? The back cover.
Yeah, we took that. We were on our way out to California back in early September, and we were driving and saw this sign that said Lunar Crater or something like
right.
that. And we drove, it was like 8 miles off the highway, and we made it about 4 miles, and we found that dry lake bed. And
it's a cool little, he looks like he's kind of on the moon for a second, so it's definitely lunar. I don't know which kind of bed it is, but it looks almost lunar. It looks like you're hovering.
Yeah, it's beautiful country out there.
Yes. So there's so much. One of the cool things about this album is how many people you got to come together who were on it.
Oh,
let's
amazing.
talk about the amazing crew that you put together. You and Cole.
Amazing musicians. Yeah, that's most all of the musicians are because of Cole.
Yes.
Cole did such a great job. Most of them are in his band. Jake Stringer on drums, Justin Boswell on bass. Tyler Giles played some acoustic guitar on the Wayne Mills song that we did, and steel guitar on the whole album.
Wow.
I don't want to leave anybody out. A guy by the name of Scotty Sanders out of Nashville did the dobro work on Who Am I to Say. And then probably one of the things I'm most proud of is, and I still can't believe it all came together, is the three ladies that were gracious enough to sing on Who Am I to Say. Their harmonies are just unbelievable. They are 100% professional, first class, known in the industry by pretty much everybody. And it worked out that all three of them were available to do it.
So cool.
They killed it. Stephanie Curry, April Rucker, and Maureen Murphy.
It's really cool for me personally because Maureen is a personal friend. And then I met April the other night. April sings with Chris Shiflett of Foo Fighters on his one-off album. And she came from backstage, and I shook her hand, and I was talking to her. And I said, I think I know you. And I go, wait a minute, are you friends with Maureen? She said, yeah. And I said, did you just do background vocals for Cole Porter for a gentleman named Tim Allen? And she looked at me, I go, Tim is one of my best friends. And she's like, I did do that. And there's this whole world colliding moment. Because, when you guys get the EP, this song, Who Am I to Say It Wasn't Your Time, took a whole new meaning on when you added those vocals and became much, both a tribute to your father and, in my opinion, a gospel tribute to your father. It became very, very spiritual with those ladies. The crescendo of that song is unbelievable to me.
Yes, it starts out, crescendo of the song is a good way to put it. It starts out with some acoustic work in dobro, and Drew Herrickle, that plays keys for Cody Jinks, he was nice enough to contribute to that song too. And the whole song just builds, and with them basically turning into a choir at the end, and it is amazing. That song. If
you can listen to this song and it doesn't bring a tear to your eye, then we're going to have a talk. Because it really, first of all, you're my friend and I know the background story. Second of all, my mom also died of pancreatic cancer too young. A lot of us have people around us who were gone too soon. And so it speaks to a much broader audience, although it's extremely personal to the person listening to it. And when they bring it home there at the end, it's really like being in church. It really is a moment. And the words you wrote are so profound that I love how the album flows. Because you start, it's autobiographical, but then again, I'm your friend and I know about your life. So for me, I'm like, I think everybody's going to come away with that when they listen to it, friend or not. Because as you go through the songs, you start off with Lifetime on the Road, and you talk a little bit to that song if you like.
That song is, man, I've been traveling for the past 20 years with work, and moved out to Missouri about 10 years ago, and my kids are still in Ohio, and I go back there for the last 10 years pretty much every other weekend to see them. If not every other weekend, it's every third. I think there's only been one time in 10 years where it was over a month.
Right.
But the older they get, the harder it is to...
Well, right. Homecomings and proms and dances
exactly.
and... my daughter's 16. People are like, well, aren't you with her tonight? I'm like, well, she has 2 parties, homecoming and an after party.
Busier than me.
Yeah, she's busier than me, And so, the first time I met you, which was a couple years ago, we were on our way to a show, and we all met up at my favorite hamburger joint, Booch's,
yes,
in Columbia. And that night, after the show, he told me this story of the Lifetime on the Road, essentially. He told me about going back and forth with his kids and how... And that in that moment, I was like, this guy is integrous and keeps his word, and he's going to be my friend. And that was it.
So I had no choice in that?
He's been trying to get rid of me for a couple years now. Except here we are in the undisclosed location.
Right.
2 years later. He can't get rid of me. It's like... You really don't want to get rid of me.
I have no comment, Cheryl. I'm just teasing.
So, anyway, work and the kids keep you running.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of you have a
Absolutely.
lot of windshield time and a lot of time
Yeah.
to listen to music and a lot of time to think and write
Yep.
lyrics in your mind.
Yep.
And
That happens a lot.
yeah. And so as you go,
I probably do 70,000 miles a year, and there's guys out there that do way more than that.
Right.
I mean, I have a friend that he lives clear over in Maryland, but does a lot of out here in the Midwest, and I think he does a lot of miles through. I think it was through July. He told me he was already close to 100,000 miles.
yeah, I
So-
look at some of the touring musicians around and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like to drive anywhere over 5 hours.
Right.
I'm about a 5 hour. If I have other people in the car.
Yeah.
Over 7, I'm on an airplane.
Right.
So I appreciate all these guys and gals who get in vans and buses and just get it done.
Yeah.
I don't have that in me.
Yep.
And you do it for your kids and for a living.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Absolutely.
So as we go down, there's looking up at a dream.
Yeah, that was more of, I was thinking about, I was on my way to work one morning and just thinking about where I'm at and how fortunate I am with everything. But there was always, I was never able to get to the point where I could play music as much as I wanted to.
Right.
There was always something in the way of doing that. So that's kind of about what that song is
Right.
about.
And then let's talk about number 3, Bad Side of Me.
Number 3 is a Wayne Mills song. And I had a lot of respect for Wayne's music and how Wayne did things. And I wanted to put a song on here for Patty, my fiance. And I was trying to come up with a song, and I had run through some different ideas. And it's like, man, Wayne, he wrote that song. And if you're a part-time musician or full-time musician and you want to have a song to give to your significant other, that song pretty much
It pretty much says it. Yeah, it's a very I love you and I love that you love me despite who I am.
Right.
Or in
Even-
spite of who I am. Whichever way you want to look at it.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And you know, Wayne was murdered.
Yes.
It was tragic. I had met him maybe 3 weeks before he was murdered. It really, really messed up a lot of the honky-tonk scene.
Oh, yeah.
It really has been very personal to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So many of my friends were friends with him.
Right.
Brent Cobb wrote King of Alabama.
Yep, it's a great
He's giving
song.
all the royalties to his children
Yep.
off of that song. It's just been really hard to see someone in the community murdered, cold-blooded murdered.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God the murderer is now in jail.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Yeah. I never had the chance to meet Wayne. It never happened. So.
I'm so sorry. You would have liked him a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you like him through his music.
I have friends that were very good friends with him. Some played in his band, and yeah, I wish I could have met him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. You know, but what's cool is that people honor him through the music, and you know,
Absolutely.
he's honored. It's just a tragic loss, you
Yep.
know. Got to be nice to each other, people.
Right.
Maybe stop drinking whiskey a little earlier. I don't
Mm.
know. Let's talk about number 4. Truth just don't sell.
I woke up one morning a couple years ago. I guess it would have been 2016, and when all the election stuff was going on, and I got up to put some wood on the wood stove in the morning, and it was freezing in the house, and I thought, well, I'm going to stay down here and make sure the fire's going good. Let's turn on the news. And then it was just bad mouthing, whatever side was bad mouthing the other. I really don't get into politics at all. But it was one side bad mouthing the other, and then you change the channel and it's the exact opposite. And you don't know what to believe. And that's kind of just where that song came from. And it was a slower song, and somebody had the idea to make it a little faster, make it a little more honky-tonk, and give it some telly
I
twang.
love it. I love the way that
Yeah,
it
it came
came
out
out
good.
on the CD.
Yeah,
'Cause-
but it's more like, my opinion is that people need to actually stop and think about what they're hearing and maybe do their own research.
Or maybe just think for themselves.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
maybe we
It's
were
one of the lines
designed
in
to
there.
think.
Yeah.
We weren't designed to just follow. We were designed to think for ourselves.
Right.
And that's all we need to say about that.
Right.
Think for yourselves.
Right. Exactly.
And then we wrap up with Who Am I to Say?
Yes.
In that song.
That was the whole reason this EP came together, was that particular song. We talked about it a little bit before, but the first time I did that song, to where I got a good feedback from the crowd, was at the Bucks Bar and Grill, and I did it, and there was such a reaction from 3 or 4 people in there that was so strong that I thought, man, maybe I have something here.
I think I might have bawled my head off the first time you played it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there were tears shed.
Yeah. So a few people that night said what that song meant, and I developed it a little bit more, and I sent a video of it to Cole, and he said, absolutely, let's put that on there. And like I said before, that song came out way bigger than I ever thought it would. The gospel feel that you mentioned was exactly what we were going for.
I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, we kind of had a few different songs in the back of our heads of the direction we wanted to go, and it came out exactly like I wanted. And then when you added the background vocals and the dobro in there, it's way
it changes
bigger.
it. Yeah, it changes it. I mean, the message is there, but it just elevated it,
Yes.
which is exactly how the song should be.
Yes.
Um,
Cole and I were definitely on the same page on that particular song, and what he helped me do on this whole EP was just...
Such a good guy.
Yes. Yeah,
Like
he's
salt
great.
of the earth, him and Kendra. I mean, so lucky that we've all met them and that they're doing such great things for
Yeah.
you, and they're so talented and getting a lot of recognition. It's really nice. Like all these people around us, like everybody's getting elevated by everybody helping out, and there's a spirit of community that's not always present, that's happening around us. And you know, you've gotten some big gigs. Like, didn't you play with Tennessee Jet? You
Yep.
opened for him recently.
Yeah, down at Southbound Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yep.
And I know you have you've had the CD release party last night.
Mhm.
Next weekend is Saints and Sinners.
Saints and Sinners. November is shaping up to be pretty good. It's pretty much booked. December the same. So things are, I'm already booking into next year. Things
Yeah.
are doing it. It's rolling right along.
It's a long way from I'm gonna write a song for my dad for Christmas.
Well, yeah.
We've come a long way, because I remember you talking about this
Yeah.
and singing the song, and you know, and it's nice to see someone's. I wouldn't say that it's a dream come true necessarily, but to see your vision actually coming out,
Yes.
like because this wasn't the dream at the time,
No.
but it's become something
Yes.
more than what I think you were thinking.
It's become way more than what I was thinking.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, and it's such a great tribute to your father.
Thank you.
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of it. I'm just proud of everybody on it. You know, we're surrounded by really great people.
The musicians and everybody on that is what makes it what it is. I am just one small part of that EP.
Humble
That's
guy.
for sure.
Such a humble guy. Just saying. I'm just saying. I love that
Thank
about
you.
you.
Thank
So let's tell the people where they can find you.
iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Music, I think. Pretty much everywhere can be downloaded digitally. You can go to my website, timallenmusic.net.
Oh, .net.
Yes. Yes.
And then in Facebook, it's Tim Allen Music.
Yep. Instagram,
And
Tim
on
Allen Music.
Instagram.
2. Tim Allen
Oh yeah, there's a
Music
2. There's always somebody stealing somebody's name. Tim Allen. If you would have went with, anyway, just kidding. The Z.
Right.
Well, I think it's fabulous. I'm proud of everything you've done.
Thank you.
I'm proud to call you my friend. And it's just lovely to have people as humble as you get to see their dreams come to fruition. It thrills me.
Thank you.
So that's all I got today. Just wanted to talk about the album in the undisclosed location. I'm sorry. Everybody, there's just a little bit of tired today in the air.
Right.
We all have things we got to go do.
Absolutely.
So
Got more shows to play.
we got shows to play. We've got parties to have. We're all going. We're scattering.
Right.
So I'm Cheryl Swift, Duchess of Rock and Roll. This is Tim Allen of Tim Allen Music. You got to find his music and listen. You're gonna love it. And we wish you all peace, love, and rock and roll.
Thank you.